Hello students, in the previous video session we already discussed about the basics of pipelining concept. In the present session we'll discuss about pipeline performance as well as data hazards. The pipeline processor, which will complete the processing of one instruction in each clock cycle, which means that the rate of instruction processing is 4 times that of the sequential operation, so that we can speed up the operation as well as we can improve the performance. The potential increase in performance resulting from pipelining is proportional to the number of pipeline stages. Always the performance of the pipelining is depending upon the number of pipeline stages. However, this increase would be achieved only if pipeline operations can be considered in a sustained manner without interruption throughout the program execution. The potential increase in performance resulting from pipelining is proportional to the number of pipeline stages. However, this increase would be achieved only if all pipeline stages requires the same time to complete and there is no interruption throughout the program. Unfortunately, this is not possible because we cannot consider or we cannot complete all the operations within the same clock cycle, or as well as we cannot assume that there is no interruption throughout the program execution. So for variety of reasons, one of the pipeline stage may not be able to complete its processing task for a given instruction in the time allotted. Some set of instructions cannot be executed completely within the allotted time. Suppose if you are having some set of instructions like arithmetic and logic instructions, so those set of instructions cannot be executed within one clock cycle which is assigned for that respective task. Even though this may be sufficient for most operations like divide or multiplication, such operations can require more time to complete. So the operation specified, the instructions I2 requires 3 cycles to complete from cycle 4 through cycle 6. So we can consider the instruction I3. Instruction I3 can be, initially I will take instruction I1. So instruction I1 can be executed after clock cycle 4, after 4th clock cycle, after 4th clock cycle. So I can say that instruction 2 can be completed after 7 clock cycles and I3 can be completed after 8 clock cycles and so on. So effect of an execution operation taking more than one clock cycle. So here we can assume that the instruction I2 requires 3 cycles to complete the operation from cycle 4 to cycle 6. From cycle 4 to cycle 6. Thus, in cycle 5 and 6, the right stage must be considered. But here we are not considering the actual right phase. Actually, how to complete the instruction I2 right phase during clock cycle 5. But in the example, we can consider that only execution of the second instruction is taking place between 4 to 6. This means that stage 2 and in turn stage 1 are blocked from accepting accepting the new instructions. So that means here both stage 1 as well as stage 2 are blocked. Here the stage 1 as well as stage 2 are blocked by accepting the new instructions. Because the information in B1 cannot be overwritten. So we'll store the instruction within the buffer register, but without writing completely that into the result or memory or processor register. So we cannot copy the new value into the buffer register. That means buffer register B1 cannot be overwritten. Thus, steps D4 and F5 must be postponed. So I can say that D4 and F5 fetch phase of I5, that is instruction 5, and decode phase of D4 will be postponed here because of delay occurred with respect to execution of the second instruction. The previous pipeline is said to have been stalled for 2 clock cycles. That means as per the previous example, so we delayed the next operation by 2 clock cycles. Any condition that causes a pipeline to stall is called as hazard. Hazard is nothing but the condition that causes a pipeline to stall. So now we consider what is the meaning of data hazard. Any condition in which either the source or destination operands of an instruction are not available at the time expected in the pipeline. That means the condition in which the source as well as destination operands for the given instructions are not available in the expected time. So during the expected time, the operand is not available. Such condition is called as data hazard. So some operation has to be delayed and the pipeline stalls may occur. Because of unavailability of the data, that means the source as well as destination operand of an instruction at the expected time, it may cause the data hazard as well as pipeline stalls. Instruction hazard. A delay in the availability of an instruction causes the pipeline to stall. So what is the definition of instruction or control hazard? The delay in the availability of an instruction itself. That means the processor is not yet fetched an instruction from the memory. An instruction is not available for the execution phase. So a delay in the availability of an instruction which causes the pipeline to stall is called as instruction or control hazard. So we have just seen an example of data hazard. A data hazard is any condition in which the source or destination operand of the instruction is not available at the expected time. So because of this, some operation has to be delayed. The pipeline may also have to be stalled because of delay in the availability of the instruction itself. So that is called as instruction hazard. The effect of a cache miss on pipeline operation can be considered whenever if you are considering the instruction hazard. So next we'll consider structural hazard. The situation when two instructions require the use of a given hardware resources at the same time. So the structural hazard means the situation in which the two instructions uses or the two instructions are trying to use the same hardware resources at the same time. So that causes the structural hazard. So the diagram shows the pipeline stall caused by a cache miss in F2. So I can say that the effect of a cache miss on pipeline operation can be considered if you are speaking about the pipeline stall. The instruction fetch unit must be fetched the instruction sequentially one after the other. So here we can observe that the instruction I1 is fetched by the processor during clock cycle 1. So I can say that instruction I1 is fetched from the cache in clock cycle 1 and its execution is considered normally. So after fetch phase, decode phase D1, execution phase and write phase. However, the fetch operation for instruction I2, so which is to be started at the clock cycle during clock cycle 2, but because of cache miss, the instruction is fetched. So the actual operation is started at clock cycle 2, but the entire instruction is fetched after clock cycle 5. So the instruction fetch unit must now suspend any further fetch request and write for I2 to arrive. So here we can observe that there is one large delay occurred. That means instruction hazard appeared. That means the requested instruction is not yet available within the cache. So that means cache miss appeared. So actually we have to fetch the instruction at clock cycle 2, but so it takes, because of instruction hazard, that F2 is fetched after clock cycle 5. That means we can assume that instruction I2 is received and loaded into the buffer B1 so during clock cycle 5. The pipeline resumes its normal operation at that point. So usually the pipeline will resume the operation at this instant. So an alternative operation which can be considered with respect to a pipeline in the case of cache miss. So that is how we can avoid instruction hazard which was occurred with respect to cache miss. So the second diagram shows the functions which can be performed by each pipeline stage in each clock cycle. So here we can note that we can consider decode unit is idle in cycle 3. So here, so we are having some stages like fetch phase, decode phase, execution phase and write phase. So here we can observe that the instruction decode phase is idle during cycle 5 till from cycle 3 to cycle 5. So the decode unit is idle in cycle 3 throughout cycle 5. The execution unit is idle from 4 to 6 and write phase is idle from 5 to 7 and so on. So such idle periods are called as stalls. They are also often referred as bubbles in the pipeline. So which is also, these ideal periods are referred as bubbles in the pipeline. Once created as a result of the delay in one of the pipeline stage, the bubbles moves downstream until it reaches the last unit. So I can say that once the actual hazard occurs, so it will go in the downstream fashion until it reaches to the last unit. Though the last type of hazard, as I mentioned, which was structural hazard. So the structural hazard may be considered in the pipeline operation whenever two instructions are trying to use a single hardware unit in the given instant. So this is a situation when two instructions requires the use of the given hardware resources at the same time. The most common case in which the structural hazard may arise is in the access to the memory. So usually the structural hazard may be considered whenever the processor is trying to access the memory. One instruction may need to access memory as a part of execution phase or write stage, while the another instruction is being fetched. So that means, so the two instructions are parallelly trying to use the same memory in the same instant. One instruction is trying to access the memory as a part of the execution or write stage. So the other instruction is trying to fetch the instruction from the same memory. If instructions and data resides in the same cache unit, only one instruction can be proceeded and the other instruction can be delayed. Many processors uses a separate instruction and data cache to avoid this delay. So in order to overcome from the structural hazard, so we can consider a separate instruction as well as data cache within the processor. So the diagram shows how we can consider one example. So suppose if you want to load x of r1 comma r2, so which can be considered in four-stage pipelining. The memory address. So here we have to fetch the memory address x of ri. So that means x plus content of r1, I can say content of r1 is computed in step E2. So we can compute x plus content of r1 in step E2, but during clock cycle 4. Then memory access can take place during clock cycle 5. Memory can be accessed during clock cycle 5. The operand read from the memory is written to the register R2 during clock cycle 6. So after reading the information from R1, the content can be copied into R2 during clock cycle 6. This means that the execution step of this instruction takes 2 cycles, that means 4 and 5. So during execution it takes more than 1 clock cycle, that means during 4 and 5 the actual execution will take place. Because both instructions I2 and I3 requires access to the register file in cycle 6. Even though the instruction and their data are all available, the pipeline is stalled because one has one hardware resources. That means the register file. So we cannot handle two operations parallelly with respect to the register file. So the register file cannot be handled two operations at once. If the register file had 2 input ports, that is, if it allowed 2 simultaneous write operations, the pipeline would not be stalled. So if you are considering within the register file, suppose if it is having 2 input ports, so that time we can avoid the pipeline stall. In general, the structural hazards are avoided by providing sufficient hardware resources on the processor chip. So if you are providing the sufficient hardware resources within the processor chip, we can overcome from or we can avoid the structural hazard. So which is also important to understand, the pipelining does not result in individual instructions being executed faster. Rather than it is the throughput that increases, where throughput is measured by the rate at which the instruction execution is completed. Anytime one of the stages in this pipeline cannot complete its operation in one cycle, the pipeline stalls and some degradation in performance occurs. Thus, the performance level of one instruction completion in each clock cycle is actually the upper limit for the throughput available in the pipeline processor organized in the diagram. So an important goal in designing processors is to identify all hazards that may cause the pipeline to stall and to find ways to minimize their impact. Pipelining does not result in individual instructions being executed faster. Rather, it is the throughput that increases. Throughput is measured by the rate at which instruction execution is completed. Pipeline stall causes degradation in pipeline performance. We need to identify all kind of hazards that may cause the pipeline to stall and to find ways to minimize their impact. Data hazards. A data hazard is a situation in which the pipeline is stalled because the data to be operated are delayed for some reason. So we can consider one example. What may be the major issue of availability of data and occurrence of data hazards with respect to pipelining concept. So we can consider a program which consisting of two instructions, I1 followed by I2. When this program need to be executed in a pipeline, the execution of I2 can begin before the execution of I1 is completed. Suppose if you are overlapping the operations of instructions, so I can start the execution of I2 before the execution of I1. Before the execution of I1. So this means that the results generated by I1 may not be available and may not be available as well as which cannot be used by I2. We must ensure that the results obtained when instructions are executed in a pipeline processor are identical with the instructions which are executed sequentially. The potential for obtaining incorrect result when operations are performed concurrently can be demonstrated by considering simple examples. Suppose the instructions which are dependent with each other, that means the result of I1 which will affect the result of I2. In such situations, we cannot go for the pipelining concepts. We must ensure that the result obtained when instructions are executed in a pipeline processor are identical to those obtained when the same instructions are executed sequentially. So the sequential execution means the instructions can be executed one after the other. So I can consider one example. So we are having A is equal to 3 plus A. Suppose if I consider the value of A, that is equal to 5. So that is equal to 5. So now I'll consider case 1 as the instructions can be executed sequentially. So if the instructions are executed sequentially means first I'll execute instruction A and after that we can execute instruction B. So initially I'll assign the value of A as 5 and I'll get 5 plus 3, that is equal to 8. A is equal to 8. And after that we can start execution of the second instruction B, that is nothing but 4 into A, and we will get the result as 32. Suppose if you are considering the pipeline concept and will start executing the instruction 1 as well as instruction 2 parallelly. So at that instant the result may be 5 into 4, but so we can consider with sequential execution, the result we got it as 32. But if the instructions are performed concurrently, the value of A used in computing B would be the original value 5. So I'll take 5 into 4 and I'll consider the result as 20. So if you are executing the instructions concurrently, leading to an incorrect result. So this result is wrong because we assume the value of A as 5. So that means I can say that both the instructions A as well as B are dependent instructions. If these two operations are performed by instructions in a program, then the instructions must be executed one after the other. So this kind of instructions need to be executed one after the other, because the data used in the second instruction, which is depending upon the result of first instruction. So that is data hazard may be considered. So here case 2 I'll take. So here we are having two instructions, A as well as B. Here we know that there is no dependency between the instructions. So the result A is not used in the second instruction. That means A is equal to 5 into C and B is equal to 20 into C. So which can be performed concurrently because these operations are independent with each other. When two operations depends on each other, they must be executed sequentially in the correct order. So we'll consider one more example. Multiply R2, R3 and R4, add R5, R4 and R6. So in this example, which illustrates a basic constraint that must be enforced to guarantee the correct result. When two operations depends on each other, they must be performed sequentially in the correct order. This will provide the proper output. So we have to check whether those two instructions are having data dependency. If the data dependency appears in the instructions, so we have to execute the instructions sequentially, else we can consider the pipelining concept. So these instructions, mult as well as add instructions, which are having the data dependency. The result of multiply instruction, which is stored in R4, and after getting the result R4, so we can compute the second instruction. The result of the multiply instruction is placed into register R4, which is in turn is the one of the source operand for the second instruction. Assuming that the multiply operation takes one clock cycle to complete the operation as well as, so here I can consider the instruction I1, so that is multiplication instruction. So it starts fetching the instruction during clock cycle 1. So we can assume that multiply operation takes one clock cycle to complete. Execution would proceed till clock cycle 3, and we can have the actual R4 result during clock cycle 4. Hence the step D, that is decode phase of that instruction cannot be completed until this one, that is until R4 result is written. That means the multiplication result is written within R4. Until that we cannot decode the second instruction. So the actual decoding of I2, that is add instruction, takes place during clock cycle 3, but it is not completed within the same clock cycle. So it takes till clock cycle 5. I can say that R4 is available and we can decode the instruction. So instruction I3 can be fetched during clock cycle 3, but its decoding must be delayed because till D3 because of this delay. So unless or until D2A, that is decoding of the second instruction, add instruction, is completed, instruction I3 cannot decode or it cannot perform the operation during fifth cycle. So it can starts its decoding phase during sixth cycle. So this is how the pipeline start by data dependency between D2 and W1 can be considered.